Listen up, guys. We need to talk about something serious. Too many men waste years of their lives in relationships where they are disrespected, manipulated, or stuck in toxic cycles. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be that way. Some women will say things that should immediately make you question everything. These aren't just random words. They're red flags that reveal deeper issues that, if ignored, will leave you feeling drained, frustrated, and questioning your own worth. You don't have to tolerate it. If you're tired of losing yourself in relationships that don't honor who you are, you need to pay attention. Today, I'm breaking down 5 phrases that should make you walk away. No hesitation. These phrases aren't just things women say. They reveal their mindset, one that could leave you stuck in a battle for respect instead of building a partnership. This isn't about blaming women. It's about knowing your value as a man. It's about self-respect. If that's not there, don't waste your time. So, let's dive into the 5 phrases you need to walk away from. Trust me, recognizing these early will save you months, even years, of frustration. 1. I don't need a man. When a woman says, I don't need a man, it might initially sound empowering, like a statement of independence. But let me be clear, this is a red flag. Why? Because what she's really telling you is that she sees men as expendable, as optional. She doesn't view a relationship as a partnership, but rather as something she can take or leave, and that mindset is dangerous for anyone who values respect and mutual effort in a relationship. Now, don't confuse this with a woman who's genuinely independent. There's nothing wrong with a woman being strong, self-sufficient, and having her own life. But when a woman repeatedly says she doesn't need a man, it's a sign that she may not value what you bring to the table. She might see you as an accessory rather than an equal partner. The moment she says this, understand that you're dealing with someone who likely won't respect you for being a man. She'll dismiss your contributions, your ideas, and your leadership. She might challenge your decisions just to prove she can do it all on her own. And before you know it, you're in a relationship where you're not seen as a valued partner. You're seen as a liability, or at worst, a convenience. In the beginning, it might seem like nothing to worry about. After all, she's saying she doesn't need a man. That doesn't mean she doesn't want one, right? But here's the kicker. If she doesn't need you, why should she respect you? And if there's no respect, then that's a relationship already dead in the water before it even started. A high-value man understands that relationships should be built on mutual respect, trust, and effort. He knows he deserves to be appreciated for who he is, and he won't settle for someone who views him as expendable. When a woman repeatedly emphasizes that she doesn't need a man, it's a huge sign that she's not looking for a partnership. She's looking for someone to fill a temporary role. If you find yourself in this situation, don't ignore it. Recognize it for what it is. You don't need to prove your worth to someone who refuses to see it. If she can't respect the value you bring as a man, then it's time to walk away and save yourself from years of frustration. You deserve someone who appreciates you, not just for what you can do for her, but for who you are. So, if you hear that phrase, take it seriously. It's not about independence, it's about respect. And if that's missing, the relationship won't last. 2. My ex was toxic. When a woman tells you that her ex was toxic, your first instinct might be to feel sympathy for her, maybe even think you could be the knight in shining armor who treats her better. But hold up, before you jump into rescue mode, you need to stop and think. Because when a woman constantly blames her ex for everything that went wrong, without ever acknowledging her own role, it's a massive red flag. It's a sign that she might be carrying unresolved issues and an inability to take responsibility for her actions. We all know that some relationships end badly, and sometimes people are truly hurt by their exes. But if every single ex she had was toxic, there's a deeper problem. Either she's choosing the wrong men, which suggests poor judgment on her part, or she's rewriting history to avoid owning up to her own mistakes. Either way, it's a problem. When she constantly paints herself as a victim, never taking any accountability for the part she played, you have to ask yourself, if she's never responsible for the failures of her past relationships, what makes you think she'll own up to her mistakes with you? More likely than not, when things go wrong, you'll be the next toxic person in her narrative. And when that happens, she'll turn the tables, making herself the victim again. Let's be clear, a woman who refuses to acknowledge her role in past relationships is likely to repeat the same mistakes. If she can't look back at her history and learn from it, she's going to carry that baggage into your relationship. So, every time you face a disagreement, she might twist things around and accuse you of being just like her ex, even if the situation is totally different. And soon enough, you'll find yourself walking on eggshells, afraid of being blamed for things you didn't do. A woman who truly respects herself and the people she's been with will be able to look at her past relationships, acknowledge her mistakes, and learn from them. She'll be able to say, "Things didn't work out with my ex, and I've learned from it." That's a woman who is self-aware and ready for growth. But when she never admits her faults, it's a huge sign that she's stuck in a cycle of self-victimization. If you find yourself with a woman who constantly blames her exes for everything and never owns up to her own actions, don't ignore it. This is a major warning sign that could lead to a lot of frustration and disappointment down the road. You deserve a partner who takes responsibility, grows from past mistakes, and is ready to build a healthy relationship with you, not one who will turn you into the next scapegoat. So, when you hear that her ex was toxic, listen carefully. Does she ever acknowledge what went wrong on her end? If not, walk away. She's not ready for the kind of relationship you deserve. 3. I need a man who can handle me. When a woman says, "I need a man who can handle me," it might sound like a challenge at first, almost like she's daring you to step up and prove you're strong enough to be with her. But here's the harsh truth. This isn't a compliment. It's a warning. What she's really saying is that she's not looking for a partner. She's looking for someone who will tolerate her unreasonable behavior without ever holding her accountable. And this mindset, it's a red flag. A relationship isn't supposed to be an obstacle course where you're constantly proving your strength by enduring her drama, her emotional outbursts, and her unresolved issues. A high-value man doesn't handle women. He leads. He builds. He creates peace and stability in his life. But when a woman says she needs a man to handle her, what she's really telling you is that she's bringing chaos into the relationship and expects you to put up with it. Imagine this. You're in a relationship with a woman who constantly tests your limits, pushing you to your breaking point just to see how much you'll tolerate. Every argument, every disagreement turns into a power struggle. She's not interested in resolving things. She's interested in seeing if you'll just put up with whatever she throws at you. This is not a partnership. It's emotional labor. The real danger here is that the more you tolerate, the less respect she'll have for you. You're not seen as strong. You're seen as weak for allowing her to walk all over you. She might push your boundaries, dismiss your opinions, and remind you that she doesn't need you. And here's the worst part. If you keep tolerating it, she'll keep testing you, and eventually you'll lose yourself in the process. You'll forget what it feels like to be respected, to have your needs considered. But here's the hard truth. You don't have to handle this. You don't have to tolerate chaos in a relationship, especially not from someone who expects you to bend over backward just to prove your worth. A real partnership is built on trust, respect, and shared effort. A woman who truly respects you won't demand that you handle her difficult behavior. She'll work on herself, just like you should. When a woman says she needs a man who can handle her, it's a test. It's a way for her to manipulate you into putting up with things that no one should tolerate. A man of value knows better than to get caught up in this game. He doesn't need to prove his worth by enduring emotional chaos. So, here's the message. If a woman tells you that she needs a man who can handle her, walk away. A real relationship is about growth, not constant testing. You deserve a woman who respects you, not someone who sees you as a challenge to overcome. Don't waste your time proving yourself to someone who only wants to create drama. Stand firm, set your boundaries, and demand the respect you deserve. A woman worth your time won't need to be handled. She'll know how to respect and appreciate you without the games. 4. You're insecure for thinking that. There's something dangerous about the phrase, "You're insecure for thinking that." On the surface, it might seem like a simple response to an argument, but deep down, it's a manipulation tactic designed to shut you down, invalidate your feelings, and distract from the real issue at hand. This is a warning sign of emotional manipulation, and it's something every man should recognize and avoid. When a woman says this to you, it's not about your insecurities. It's about her not wanting to take responsibility for her actions. Instead of addressing the issue you've raised, she flips the script and makes you the problem. She doesn't want to engage in a mature conversation, so she makes it all about you being insecure for simply setting a boundary or expressing your feelings. And this is where things get dangerous. Over time, you begin to doubt yourself. You start second-guessing your feelings, your judgments, and your ability to communicate. It's a subtle form of gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone manipulates you into questioning your own reality. By calling you insecure, she makes it seem like your valid concerns are just a product of your own emotional instability, when in fact, you're simply expressing something that's bothering you. This tactic allows her to avoid accountability while silencing your voice in the relationship. You stop speaking up because you don't want to be labeled as insecure or crazy. And that's exactly what she wants. Control. Imagine this. You tell her you feel uncomfortable with a certain behavior. Instead of having a conversation about it, she responds by calling you insecure, making you feel like you're overreacting. Now, instead of discussing the problem, you're stuck defending your emotions. You're no longer focusing on the issue. You're focused on defending your character. This is a toxic dynamic that undermines your self-esteem and peace of mind. A high-value man understands the importance of self-respect. He doesn't allow his feelings to be dismissed or invalidated by someone who refuses to take responsibility for their actions. If he constantly uses your insecurities to avoid difficult conversations, that's a major red flag. You deserve a partner who will listen, engage with you honestly, and work through issues like an adult. If she dismisses your concerns with phrases like, "You're insecure for thinking that," it's time to walk away. You don't need to waste your time with someone who isn't ready to communicate respectfully and grow with you. Your feelings are valid, and anyone who tries to make you doubt them isn't someone you should be investing your time in. Recognize the pattern, set your boundaries, and demand the respect you deserve. If she's unwilling to have a healthy conversation, then it's time to move on. 5. Other men want me. When a woman casually says, "Other men want me," it might seem like an innocent comment, but make no mistake, it's a test. A dangerous test. At that, she's not simply telling you that she's attractive or desirable. What she's really doing is testing your emotional reaction and trying to manipulate you into feeling insecure. And the moment you bite, she has control. Now, let's break this down. A high-value man doesn't need to compete for attention or validation, especially not from someone who is already with him. When a woman says this, she's not looking for validation from you. She's looking to see if she can get you to fight for her approval, if she can stir jealousy and manipulate your emotions. She wants to see if you'll crumble under the pressure of thinking that other men might be after her. This isn't about her being interested in these other men. It's about how much control she can have over you. If you react with jealousy, trying to prove that you're better than the other men who want her, she wins. She now knows she has the power to stir your emotions, to get under your skin, and control the dynamic of the relationship. A woman who respects you won't need to remind you that other men find her attractive. She won't use that as a weapon to test your worth or loyalty. A woman who truly values you won't make you feel replaceable. She'll focus on building a strong, committed relationship with you, not using other men's interests as a way to boost her own ego. Here's the trap. The more you compete for her attention or try to prove yourself, the less respect she'll have for you. She'll start to see you as weak for falling into her manipulation game. She'll view you as someone who needs constant reassurance, instead of a man who stands firm in his confidence and self-worth. A high-value man doesn't need to prove anything to anyone, especially when it comes to his partner's loyalty. If a woman throws "other men want me" in your face, stay calm. Don't show jealousy. Don't try to one-up the other men, and don't let her get inside your head. Let her go if she's testing you like this. Because here's the truth. If she's more interested in validation from other men than in building something real with you, she's not worth your time. You deserve a woman who makes you feel like a priority, not someone who plays games and makes you feel replaceable. Walk away and protect your peace. You don't need to compete for anyone's love, especially not someone who sees you as just another option. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you now have a better understanding of the red flags you need to watch out for in relationships and how to protect yourself from emotional manipulation. Remember, self-respect is key. Never settle for a relationship that drains you or doesn't appreciate your value. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'm here to help you navigate relationships, build your self-confidence, and stay true to who you are. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever encountered any of these red flags? How did you handle it? Drop a comment below and let's have a real conversation. Let's support each other in building healthier, more respectful relationships. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay focused, and always protect your peace.